Chapter 1. Major General Edward Barnes stamped his feet irritably. "New boots," he explained. "Made for me in London, but they're too tight. Hurt like buggery." He looked enviously at Sharpe's cavalry boots. "Where do you have yours made, Sharpe?"
"France, sir," Sharpe said, "and delivered to me by a cuirassier."
"And the overalls too, I see."
"Those as well, sir."
The seat and inner faces of the cavalry overalls were reinforced with leather, while the cloth had been stained with blood and muck. He'd taken them from an Imperial Guard colonel, and both boots and breeches had served him well. "You'd better kill me a cuirassier, Sharpe," Barnes said.
"A pleasure, sir."
Sharpe did not take his eye from his telescope that was trained across a river at the countryside beyond. Behind him, General Barnes and a pair of his aides were arguing about the river. "It's the Nivelle, surely," one of the aides remarked. "Could be the bloody Mississippi for all I care," Barnes snarled. "We still have to cross the bloody thing." The aide folded the map he'd been consulting and pushed it into a saddlebag. "I'm sure it's the Nivelle, sir." Barnes, normally a good-tempered man, grunted. Like the men under his command, he was tired of the cold and of the endless rain. "You see them, Sharpe?" he demanded.
"Yes, sir."
"Train the glass east, and say if you see any more of the scoundrels." Barnes, his two aides, and Sharpe were on a hillside south of the river. The French were north of the river. Sharpe was certain that the enemy had spotted the small group of British officers watching them through telescopes, but that was none of his business. If Barnes wanted to be seen, then seen he would be. Sharpe obediently swung the glass east, seeing small, wintry fields, and, a half-mile from the village, a big stretch of thickly wooded country. The trees were mostly leafless, but the wood was so dense that he could see nothing through the dark tangle of trunks and branches.
"Can't see any more, sir."
"We've been watching for 2 days," Barnes said, "and we reckon the scoundrels have pickets in that big wood. We see the relief men march out 2 or 3 times a day. As far as we know, there's nothing beyond that big wood, which means this village is the left flank of the river defences." Sharpe edged the telescope back to the village where he could see blue uniforms. It looked to him as though a battalion of French infantry was in the village, while on its southern edge, facing the river, he could see 4 of the powerful 12-pounder cannons pointing south from the gaps of a makeshift emplacement made of earth-filled wicker gabions. "Those cannon are covering a ford that leads to the village," Barnes said, seeing where Sharpe's telescope was trained. "They're hoping we'll cross it into their canister fire." Sharpe grunted, reckoning that Barnes intended the South Essex to be the battalion that would lead the crossing. Through the glass he could see the French gunners lounging near their cannons, and could even see a priming tube jutting from the vent of one of the guns that was obviously loaded and ready to fire. He edged the telescope left and saw that each of the guns had a priming tube.
"Unpleasant prospect, sir," he said, lowering the telescope.
"Suicide," Barnes said cheerfully. "But not for your lads, Sharpe." Sharpe hid his relief.
"A few riflemen up here could make life very unpleasant for those gunners, sir."
"A thought which had already occurred to me," Barnes said. "But it won't be your riflemen, Sharpe. Look east. See how the river bends?"
"Yes, sir."
About a mile to the east, the river's course made a sharp turn. It had been flowing north from the foothills of the Pyrenees, and the bend let the river run west towards the distant sea. "Just south of that bend, Sharpe," Barnes went on, "there's another ford. I want your lads to cross it at dawn tomorrow. Then evict the pickets from the wood."
"Yes, sir,"
Sharpe said, with neither enthusiasm nor reluctance.